Hello and welcome to Learn MERN Stack. MERN Stack stands for MongoDB, Express, React, and Node. Now this is a complete CMS, the content management system, something like WordPress. We will be building from absolute scratch while learning MERN Stack from absolute scratch. All right. Now before we have a look at this application, let's talk about MERN Stack in general. So we learned that MERN Stack stands for MongoDB, Express, React, and Node. So as you can see, this is a JavaScript stack. So if you want to build a full stack application all the way from backend to frontend, then this is the stack you will choose. Right. So when it comes to building websites, there are mainly two sides. One is backend, another is frontend. In the backend, you will be writing server-side code, the code that basically interacts with the database. Obviously, you will be doing much more, but that is one of the core features. So you will be interacting with the database, you will be creating, reading, updating, deleting. So those type of things you will be doing in the backend. And in the frontend, you will be creating pages, UI elements. So when you talk about UI, the user interface elements, it includes things like forms. So you take the user input. You have certain buttons that will do certain things when the user clicks on those buttons. For example, maybe making a payment or enrolling into some kind of a subscription plan, things like that. The drop-down elements, those are part of UI elements. We'll be also able to use frameworks like Next.js, which will make our site SEO friendly. So we can use frameworks like Next.js. We can use component-based libraries like Design or Material UI that will quickly help us create UI elements. So you don't always have to write from scratch. You can use these popular frameworks. We're going to use Design, and there are hundreds of thousands of NPM libraries. That is one of the exciting features of working with full stack JavaScript. So you have access to NPM libraries. So many of the features some other developers may have already developed that you can get from NPM. So that will save you from writing a lot of code, save you from reinventing the wheel. So you can quickly use those libraries and build the entire application. All right, so we will go through all that when we're going through this MERN Stack development. And another benefit of MERN Stack is you will be just dealing with one programming language. So you don't have to learn different backend languages like PHP or Python to build your backend server. With MERN Stack, you can use same language in the both backend and frontend. So to build extremely powerful backend, you can use Node.js, Express, and MongoDB, so that you don't have to learn more than one language. That way you can just focus on one language and get really good at it. The more you work with language, the more you get better. So obviously that can help you become a better developer and do more in less time as you get better and better working with the same language in the backend and front end as well. And obviously, writing maintainable code is very important as a developer. As a growing application developer, you will be writing many code and you will be adding more and more features. So obviously, you want the code to be maintainable. And that's where React.js comes in. React.js focus on component-based development. So you will be using many little components and put them all together to build the entire page, right? So we will be obviously discovering all that when we going through this journey of building a full stack application. Now, when we're using MERN Stack, we are also using the latest technologies that are developed by one of the most successful companies in the world. For example, Facebook, they get millions of users every day visiting their site. So obviously they had to do the very best to give users fast and smooth user experience. That's why they developed React.js and made it open source so that now everyone can use it. All right. So React was developed by Facebook, and Design is another component-based library for React, which is developed by Alibaba. So we'll be using these technologies, right? Now, performance. So these days, all the modern web applications, they focus on one thing, performance, because these days users they don't really have time to mock around. For example, if they're visiting a site, they want the site to open in 1 or 2 seconds. If it takes longer than that, they might go back and visit another site, right? So if you want to build a successful application, you need to make sure it is extremely fast and the experience is absolutely smooth. That's where these new technologies comes in. Faster backend with Node.js and MongoDB, and faster, smoother user experience with React. All right, and obviously easily maintainable code for the developers as well. Now, some of the big tech companies, they use MERN stack, React and Node, maybe even all together. Now, these are just some of the names I could think of. These days, pretty much all the big applications, they're using React fully or partially. So they might have the entire application built with React, or maybe only the certain elements and the base, because you don't always have to build the full stack app with React. You can use React to control certain elements on the page as well, right? So either way, React has been extremely popular, and many websites that you visit in everyday life, most likely they are using React. All right, so there are many big companies using both React, Node, and even all together. So some of the names I could think of is, you can see here, Facebook, Instagram, Netflix, Dropbox, Twitter, all these big companies, high traffic applications, they're using React. And also Node.js has been extremely popular to build backend. PayPal uses it, LinkedIn, they use it, Uber, eBay, Medium, and Walmart, just to name a few. There are many of them. All right, so MERN stack is the best stack I can think of when it comes to web development. Now in this course, we will be taking a practical approach. So my core focus in this course is going to be explaining each and every line of code. So I've been developing full stack applications with React and Node for years. I've built applications of all kinds, from small, medium to large. So I absolutely love writing code and building applications, something that you can use in real world, not just for learning process. But having said that, it is extremely important, especially as a student like you want to take a course not just to watch me coding, but also to understand how I'm coding, how I'm understanding whatever code I'm writing, it's in my mind, right? So my duty is to express that understanding through this video to you, so that not only that you are writing, you also understand why you are writing and what you are writing. All right, so I'll try to explain each and every line of code so that you get the most out of this course. So if you're excited, join me in this course and we can go on this amazing journey together.